I drive at night a lot. It's part of my job. Over time you stop noticing the darkness outside the window or the empty roads, but one night I realized something. The scariest part of a night drive isn't the road itself, it's the gas station you stop at. This happened somewhere between Delaware and Pennsylvania. It was around 3 in the morning, and I could feel my eyes closing even as I tried to stay focused on the road. When I finally saw an old, lonely gas station up ahead, I pulled in. The lights were on inside, so I assumed it was open. I got out to pump gas and immediately noticed a car parked at the far edge of the lot. Its headlights were off, the engine wasn't running, but a man was sitting inside. He was staring at me, not blinking, not shifting, not looking away, just staring. At first, I assumed he was exhausted like I was, but the longer I stood there filling my tank, the more obvious it became. He wasn't taking his eyes off me. Not once. When I finished and looked toward the store, I noticed something else strange. The register area was empty. Lights on, doors open, but no employee. It looked like someone stepped out for a minute and never came back. As I started walking toward my car, the man suddenly got out of his. He moved with purpose fast, but not toward me directly. He was walking in a curved path, almost like he was trying to get behind me. A cold wave hit me. I jumped into my car and locked the doors. The man sped up and came right to my driver's side. He even reached for the handle, but froze when he realized the door was locked. Then he leaned so close to the glass that I could see his face clearly. It wasn't the face of someone who needed help. It wasn't the face of a tired traveler. It was the face of someone who had already made up his mind about what he was going to do. I slammed the gas pedal and pulled out of there without looking back. Later that morning, I finally reached the police and told them everything I'd seen. A few days later, they called me back. The gas station employee had disappeared, the security cameras were shut off, and the car I described was gone. No tracks, no leads. Since then, I don't trust the bright lights of empty gas stations at night. Sometimes they only hide what's really happening in the darkness. It happened back when I worked as a night shift courier. Gas stations were my only islands of light during long drives. But one night, I realized that sometimes the light isn't safety at all, it's bait. It was winter, around 2 in the morning, when I pulled into a small gas station near a stretch of woods. The cold was so sharp it felt like the air itself was cracking. Near the water vending machine, a man was standing completely still, frozen in place, but the only thing I really noticed was that he wasn't looking at the machine, he was staring directly at me. Inside, a young cashier sat behind the counter. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, and every few seconds his eyes darted toward the window, like he already knew that the man outside was there. As I reached for the door, the cashier suddenly shut off all the lights inside the store. Total darkness, only the dim parking lot lamps were still glowing. He came closer and gestured for me not to go outside. The kid whispered that the man showed up every single night. Never went inside, just wandered the lot, peered into windows, and disappeared whenever they killed the lights. Police had been called more than once, and they never found him. At that moment, the man outside took a step forward, then another. His movements were slow but deliberate, and that's when I noticed the dark stains on his jacket. Not oil, and definitely not dirt. The cashier slammed a panic button, and the entire gas station erupted with alarm sirens. Houses near by lit up one by one as people woke up. The man stopped, turned his head, and simply walked toward the forest, not running, not even trying to hide. Almost like he knew he'd be back eventually. The police showed up fast, but as always, he was gone. 2 weeks later, I drove by again. The gas station was closed. Word was that someone had tried to break in through the shattered back windows. After that night, I understood something. The darkness changes people. Some it frightens, others it sets in motion. I was driving home after a Christmas trip. Snow was falling so heavily it looked like a white fog, and the road felt endless. It was late into the night, and I decided to stop at a small gas station just to get some coffee and gather myself. The gas station was unnervingly quiet, quiet in a way that immediately puts you on edge. Inside, an older cashier sat behind the counter. On the wall behind him were several old security monitors. One of the cameras kept flickering, detecting movement. But outside, there was no one. When I walked back out, there was an old van parked right next to my car. I knew for a fact it hadn't been there seconds earlier. The engine was running, and the exhaust was thick and dark, like it had been idling there for a long time. Someone was inside, a figure leaning forward in the driver's seat, staring at the gas station door. I got into my car, ready to leave, but the van's door slowly opened, and a man stepped out tall, dressed in dark clothing. He didn't walk toward the store entrance. He walked toward the service door in the back, slowly, deliberately. The cashier saw it happening. He turned off the outside lights above the entrance and stepped away from the counter. I waited. If I left too quickly, the man would know I had noticed him. After a minute, the man disappeared behind the building. That was the worst part, not knowing where he was. Then he appeared again, walking straight toward me, calm, confident, as if he knew I wouldn't dare to drive off. But I decided otherwise. I turned on my headlights, cranked the wheel, and started driving, tires slipping on the icy pavement. In my rear-view mirror, I saw him standing under the street lamp, watching me leave. Then the van pulled out and started following me. Only when I spotted a patrol car near the highway eggs, did he finally turn off into the darkness. Later, I learned that this gas station had been targeted multiple times at night. And every time the people attempting to break in arrived in an old van, since then I've never stopped at small gas stations late at night. Sometimes the scariest part is being the last customer anyone sees there.